Hi everybody, my name is Adam and welcome to this week's IC market commentary. So, first of all, let's start off with this euro dollar. What is significant about this? We did manage to break so far outside of this range, so we see a stronger euro. We're still not quite free and clear just yet. We have another level of resistance, but overall it does look as though price broke out, retested that level for support, and is going to continue to move on and away from this. And so this hints at a potential weaker dollar, unless this last minute level does manage to rebound and we get a double top and we come back within that range. But for now, it does appear as though the dollar was successful this last week. Now, having a look at that as well, we can see gold continues to climb. Having a look at it here on the daily, we can see it has started a little bit of a retracement. So my expectation this week is to see price come back down towards the moving averages. And excuse me, but in other ways, the trend does appear to be intact, and so my expectation is that once it has completed a retracement, it should be able to continue doing another leg up. Let's have a look at crude oil. So crude oil, as you can see, is starting to really test these lows for support, and for now, there we go, excuse me, is testing support for the moment. I do like the fact that we have price pulling back up. We do have a bearish candle at the moment. Let's zoom in on that to have a closer look at it. And yes, although we do have some levels of support in this area for now, my expectation is that, especially if we break the low of this, price will continue to head lower for crude oil. Having a look at the S&P 500, continuing to break to record highs. However, one of the things that I want to draw your attention to is the very slow but gradual bearish divergence that's occurring over here. So price itself is starting to do smaller and smaller cycles, and it's starting to produce more and more wicks at the top. This is also a hanging man pattern, and arguably a little bit of a double top here. So we can see price managing to break through, but looking a little bit weaker at the moment. What does that mean? It means that this coming week we could see a little bit more of a correction, but certainly it does seem to be slowing down a little bit. You can also see here, if we look at it on the daily, you could see these last few candles here showing wicks and a bearish candle setting up here. So also showing a possibility here for a bit of a retracement this week. Comparing that to the FTSE in the UK, for example, you could see this very much range bound at the moment. Ultimately, excuse me, once it has had a correction, I do expect it to continue to break out of this and continue higher. Let's have a quick look at Tesla, for example. Tesla starting to look more and more bullish here. It's really, when I would officially call it an uptrend, is once it is broken above these previous highs over here. Let me just go ahead and just draw that level in here. So once we break above this, we then become more and more bullish. At this point in time, this has gone from neutral to neutral bullish. And then if it does continue up, I would expect it to just continue higher. And therefore, I would classify it as full bullish. NVIDIA as well, forming a very interesting pattern. So we've got a little bit of a wedge forming here. Now, historically, these tend to break out to the upside. You can see a little bit of bearish divergence here on the RSI at the bottom. Heading lower, trends heading lower, the MACD seems fine. So that makes sense. We're getting those conflicting images. At the moment, again, also, it's still a little bit overextended on the monthly, but there's a lot of buyers below and not a lot of sellers above. So we really do have this justified triangle pennant shape forming here, and we'll have to see how that ultimately plays out. Again, one of the things interesting here, looking at Bitcoin, is it is forming a bull flag. So what does that mean? Usually it means that we're going to break out to the upside here. So I'll be keeping an eye on this. And again, if we do break above these previous highs or the prior highs, then we're starting to go much more bullish. And at this moment, it looks more bullish than bearish. We've had a look at Tesla. Let's have a look at NVIDIA again. We have, and there we go. So that brings me to the end of today's session. So potentially expecting that dollar to continue to weaken. What's interesting to me though is both crude oil and gold looking a little bit more bearish at the moment. The S&P also looking as though that's getting ready for a little bit of a correction, and Bitcoin looking a little bit more bullish than bearish. I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you very much. Have a great week.